Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode talking about the Amazon All or Nothing documentary series about Tottenham Hotspur. We're on to the last episode, and it's a really, really nice ending, in my opinion. So, let's talk about it. Oh, yeah, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Spoilers. If you haven't watched the whole thing yet, I recommend you do. I've really liked this documentary series, so yeah. It starts off with Jose being realistic about when we came back. About West Ham. He's like, if you lose this game, essentially, Champions League, that hope, gone. And he's just very, very realistic that this is really our last thing. And if you don't win this game, you're going to be slogging through the whole rest of the season just like with no motivation because you've lost the only thing you were really fighting for anymore. So please go out and win. And it wasn't pretty, but we won. So there is that. It was just grinding out results, but you could see like just from the Kane run alone, it tells a lot about what kind of a game that was. Just like give your all and fight for it. I mean, Ben Davies says it later. You have to sometimes just get scrappy results, not doing pretty football and stuff. Just fight for it more. And that's what we did most of restart. We definitely had positive feelings in restart, but there was still this lingering thing of just we need to get to the end of the season because this is so draining and there's something that's just not right here. All the games were just not conclusive, really. There were one or two results that were just like, yes, that's the Tottenham I know and love, particularly after Arsenal and the Arsenal game itself. But a lot of the games were just like, we have to get through this and we have to fight our way to the end of the road. Yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, I think the I think that thing, I didn't know what that was initially, but I think it's him being like, you're going to feel that this game is important after the game and be like and I think that's what he means. You're gonna be sad and make that noise after the game, but you should feel it during the game so you're motivated during the game and not after the game when you can't do anything about it. So good coaching tactic there. I don't really know. We get to the Tangi Talk. The Tangi Talk. That's a good name. I was really excited to see if there was something like this in the documentary, and thank God there was. I loved seeing Tangi just smile and laugh with Serge and Sissoko. It was so nice. It was just nice to see him really kind of be himself, and it looked like he was very comfortable with them and just having a good time. I feel like we don't see that a lot from Tangi. I feel like, sometimes he just looks a bit uncomfortable with the new environment and with English, and yeah, you can see why though. And the conversation with Levy is really, really important. I think it's just good to get kind of some clarity on the situation. And that guy is right. I forget his name, but we should just listen to him. Like, sometimes it just takes players a little while to settle in. And Tangi is one of those people. It was admittedly a hard situation to adapt to him coming to England without knowing English. Just new environment, the play style of the Premier League, and new people. And we have to remember this guy 3 years ago was playing in like the 4th division of French football. Like, this is a guy who's just been thrown around rapidly everywhere. So yeah, he's been on a journey, and hopefully this year he kicks on. He says, I am here today because I fought not only in life but in football as well. I think that's a really encouraging sign. A lot of people were saying he didn't say enough to warrant like that he's going to put in an effort. But I think this season we'll see it. And Jose's been alluding to it, that he's in a process of coming back and being fit. So I'm really happy about that. and hope everyone else is too. Let's just back him. Obviously, no one wants him to leave the club. Mourinho, Levy, anyone. So let's just work with him and let's just give him time because hopefully he comes good. And obviously his talent is just there. People just know he has talent and he just oozes it. You can see even in the training footage that they show, he's just a class above sometimes. He just has something special about him. So yeah, just give him time and hopefully Serge and Sissoko can help him even more. Sissoko is such a good mentor for him. We do get to the Sheffield result, and this is where the Champions League hope just goes up, 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 beep, ba, ba, ba. It's just that handball. I think that was one of the last things that just broke our mentality. And Jose said it. He was like, I learned new things about my players. I didn't know they would respond like that. The response was nothing. It just seemed like they were not willing to go that extra step that day. It was just like, this is all we can give right now, Jose. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, it did feel like kind of just a really downward point. And I think Bournemouth is right after that as well. And that was when I was like, what the hell is going on here? I felt the same after I did at Everton, where I was like, what is this a Jose problem? Is this a player problem? Is it both? I don't know. But it was a worrying time. And I was like genuinely concerned about the team bouncing back. But I honestly think that 11-a-side match was something that Jose wanted, so it would stir up emotions and would just encourage people. Because as he says later on in the episode, wake up. You guys just don't seem to get it. I've been telling you the same instructions for months, and you can't seem to understand to just wake up. You're just not doing it. You're just not playing. He even alludes to in the West Ham game, you had 3 days of rest, they had 2 days of rest. You don't get that excuse this time. And sometimes I do side with Jose on that stuff. But yeah, back to the 11-side match. I think we see the real Lucas, because he was getting really mad and heated, and we've never seen that before. That was interesting. Just thought I'd point that out. Then we have this Eric Dier tackle situation. In my opinion, I think that stuff just kind of happens, especially when you have a manager like Mourinho demanding that stuff like this happens. I think it just is a part of training. Sometimes people get hurt and people get scraped up, and that's just part of it. Son admits it. Ben Davies admits it. Eric Dier apologizes for it. It's just a thing that people should be used to. I mean, yes, Son could have gotten injured, but people can get injured. That's just a thing that happens in training. I mean, you can't just completely minimize the risk of injury, because then you're not really training full out, right? So yeah, that's my opinion on that. But I mean, it's fair to disagree. The thing I don't really agree with is Jose's response to it, where he's like, you should take this as a lesson, son. Which I was like, I don't know. It's kind of rough on Son. And then it kind of skips to the Everton game, where Son gets yelled at by Hugo. Hugo gets upset at Son for not tracking back, and this is another indicator of just a Jose Mourinho team demanding a lot from each other. It's just, that's how it is, and he wants that kind of conflict because it inspires emotion and stuff. And do I think that's the way to go about it? I don't know. Maybe for some players it works, maybe for others it doesn't. I can see Sonny's frustration with it though, but I could also see Hugo's frustration. Hugo's completely bought into Jose's mentality, and so has Eric Dier. So you can see why they're like, I didn't do anything wrong. This is just what he's demanding from me. And he's right, but I also see where Sonny's like, it's like the last minute of the first half, and I just want to get to the dressing room. So, yeah, I understand both viewpoints. I think the Arsenal result came at the perfect time, though. I think if we lost that game, like all hope for the future was just lost. It was so important to win that, and it's good that Jose knows how important it was. Uh, yeah, it was showing we just still had fight, and it showed that Jose still has the tactics to come up in the big games. We just completely outclassed them, I thought. I think it was a perfect setup to win against them, so props to Jose. I don't do that enough, so yeah, no, just really, really good result, and you can tell it just lifts everyone, and it brings us to the end of the season. Uh, we get the signing of Japhet Tengonga on a permanent contract for a while, and it's really cool to see his dad talk about him in a genuine way about how he was at Arsenal, and then Spurs were like, "Hey, come over here," and he scored 2 goals against Arsenal. Nice to know that, Leon. We will keep that in mind. But yeah, it's so nice to see Tengonga and his dad like being really happy about the move. You can tell it means a lot to them. And yeah, Japhet just seems like such a great guy. Uh, really, really happy for him. Kane was, I forgot how much Kane was just on fire that end of the season, just banging in the goals to get us to the end. He was on a run, man. Yeah, everyone just seemed relieved when Crystal Palace was over, even though it was a draw. It was just like, we have finally gone to the end of this terrible season, and everyone just celebrates it, and it's like, yeah, we didn't get what we needed to accomplish, but this was a year I think everyone can agree on was just a bad year, and it happens, and hopefully we come back next year. And yeah, Jose even says, I would never expect to be celebrating what I did, but I have to in these circumstances. Yeah, and honestly, completely fair. I think a lot of people memed that moment, but whatever. He has a right to celebrate his accomplishments, and it is an accomplishment because it still wasn't sure we were going to get into Europa League until that last week. So very important. We get to the final little bit here of Jan Vertonghen again. I can't see that man's face anymore without getting sad. It's just sad for me. I love him, and I wish him the best at Benfica. It's so telling, like, just how much of an impact Spurs has had on him, and the other way around too. Yeah, he's just such a character. And then there's Michel Vorm, and I appreciate him as well, and obviously a lot of people do at the club. But yeah, Jan is telling because he says, I don't watch football a lot, but I will be sure to FaceTime people after games and watch every minute I can. It's just touches you. It touches you in the heart. It's really nice. I miss him. I miss him immensely. But yeah, pretty much that's all I really wanted to say about this episode. It's going to be a shorter one here, but yeah, a little wrap up I'll do. I just thought the documentary was really good. I mean, of course, it's a PR exercise a little bit, and it's going to portray Spurs in a positive light. And Pochettino wasn't mentioned a lot, and I have my faults with it, but overall, you have to cram so much into 9 episodes, so fair to them. I think they did a good job, and I think it's a really entertaining thing. And as a Spurs fan, I just really appreciate getting a look inside the club. And yeah, it was a nice little deal to sit through, and I'm sure I'll rewatch it again and again as time goes on in my Spurs supporting career. So yeah, really, really nice. Anyways, that'll do it for this series. Let me know what else content-wise you want to see. I'm going to be doing a Reggaeton video, so subscribe if you're new to catch that first thing. And then like the video if you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what other things you would like to see. I'm obviously going to do a match review of not Sevilla, Reggaeton's on my mind, of Plovdiv tomorrow. So yeah, but anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Come on, you Spurs.